Hey, what's up? In this video, we will dive to 4 theories you need to know in the 4th episode. Watch out! Spoilers ahead. Welcome to Valyrian Steel. In Daemon's most recent Harrenhal vision, Millie Alcock's young Rhaenyra suffers a terrible fate, but it pales in comparison to what Emma Darcy's Rhaenyra will face in House of the Dragon. Millie Alcock makes 2 surprise cameo appearances as young Rhaenyra in House of the Dragon Season 2, Episodes 3 and 4, albeit only in the context of Daemon's Harrenhal-induced visions. In the first scene of House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 4, young Rhaenyra speaks High Valyrian to Daemon, exposing his wrongdoings, fears, envy, and remorse, prompting him to quickly behead her in his dream. It is initially satisfying to see Millie Alcock's young Rhaenyra crowned queen, dressed in Targaryen black and seated on the Iron Throne, as she is fulfilling the inheritance her father bestowed upon her at that age. Of course, it becomes surprising only minutes later when Daemon beheads young Rhaenyra with Dark Sister, although her severed head continues to talk to him in his nightmare. Although it is distressing to see Daemon behead the teenage version of his wife, niece, and mother of his sons, Alcock's Rhaenyra has a less disturbing ending than Emma Darcy's Queen Rhaenyra in the novel. Why does Daemon behead Millie Alcock's Rhaenyra in House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 4? In the midst of his dream, Daemon beheads Millie Alcock's Rhaenyra to silence her. In High Valyrian, his envisioned version of her cuts him deeply with her words, bringing up how he created her, hated her for stealing his inheritance, exploited and abandoned her when she was an innocent child, and attempted to ruin her reputation and have her disinherited by Viserys. All because Viserys loved her more than Daemon. Rather than face his shame and insecurities, Daemon replies in the only manner he knows how, with his sword. If he can kill Rhaenyra in his dream, he may be able to protect her from becoming the woman who no longer idolizes and empowers him, as well as prevent himself from failing to achieve and become everything he has ever sought. More conceptually, Daemon understands that his images of Millie Alcock's Rhaenyra are not real. Therefore, he does not have to confront the consequences of what he would do to her. Daemon's visions at Harrenhal show him being able to behead Rhaenyra, removing her as the only true threat to the Iron Throne. That is precisely why young Rhaenyra's severed skull says, "This is what you always wanted, is it not?" Deep down, he always wanted her death to reclaim his inheritance, but he feels guilty and regretful when he does, and she continues to haunt him with her comments. Young Rhaenyra accuses Daemon of helping to create her and putting her on the Iron Throne, which he despises both her and himself for. Daemon attempts to halt the monstrosity he created by beheading young Rhaenyra in his vision, knowing that he can no longer prevent Emma Darcy's Rhaenyra from seeking the Iron Throne and wielding the power he desires. If he can kill Rhaenyra in his dream, he may be able to protect her from becoming the woman who no longer idolizes and empowers him, as well as prevent himself from failing to achieve and become everything he has ever sought. Rhaenys' death echoes Laena's tragic Vhagar decision from House of the Dragon Season 1. First and foremost, Rhaenys' decision is to return to the battle. Rhaenys had the option of flying to safety and retreating to Dragonstone several times during the Battle of Rook's Rest. After defeating Aegon and Sunfire, she elected to return to the battle and attempt to destroy Aemond and Vhagar, the largest dragons in the House of the Dragon. While Rhaenys was aware that this decision would most certainly have a negative outcome, she made it out of a desire to die in a way that was fitting for a real Targaryen and dragon rider. Both heroic and tragic, Rhaenys' decision to die in devotion to her queen mirrored that of her daughter, Laena. In House of the Dragon Season 1, Laena suffers issues during childbirth, and it appears that she may die. In order to die on her own terms as a Targaryen and dragon rider, she commands Vhagar, her dragon before Aemond's, to burn her. This decision by mother and daughter to go out in a literal blaze of glory creates parallels between their deaths, giving the terrible decisions a sense of purposeful poetry. Criston Cole is far better at war strategy and battles than Jaime Lannister. The House of the Dragon episode, Fire in the Sky, featured Criston Cole, one of the best knights of his generation. Criston Cole, Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, and one of the show's most essential characters, is difficult not to compare to Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones. Was not a brilliant tactician, despite his skill. He joined the Kingsguard at the age of 15, Jaime made numerous tactical errors in Game of Thrones, particularly during the War of the Five Kings. Jaime fell into Robb Stark's trap, becoming a Stark prisoner. He also failed to nurture and safeguard both of his boys, not to mention that his daughter died under his supervision. Tywin Lannister's heirs commonly referred to Tyrion as the Smart One. Ser Criston Cole excels at single combat, as well as being a great strategist. Regardless of Aegon II's foolhardy decision, I'm confident that bringing Aemond and Vhagar to Rook's Rest was responsible for the Green's first big victory in the Dance of the Dragons. Aemond steals Aegon's catspaw dagger, giving him a legitimate Valyrian steel Targaryen blade, while Aegon also had the Targaryen's Valyrian steel sword Blackfire to select from. Aemond chose the catspaw dagger, which would eventually play an important role in Game of Thrones, to murder the Night King. Aemond most likely chose the dagger because he already has a sword and is aware that the Targaryen king typically wields Blackfire. As a result, Aegon and his council members are unlikely to be as concerned about the dagger's theft as Blackfire is. According to Aemond's logic, Aegon is already crippled and possibly dead, so why would he require both a Valyrian steel knife and a sword on his person that are unused? Finally, Aemond accepts the Valyrian steel knife because it strengthens his sense of legitimacy and power within House Targaryen. The Targaryens' Valyrian steel swords are normally passed down by inheritance or gifts from their previous owners. Therefore, Aemond is presumably disappointed that King Viserys did not give him one of the weapons thought worthy of the finest Targaryen soldiers. Aemond believes that he deserves a Valyrian steel weapon as a sign of his proven war competence, just as King Jaehaerys I Targaryen gave Dark Sister to Daemon. After all, Aemond has triumphed over Larys, Rhaenys, and Aegon, while Aegon often faces criticism as a warrior.